Hi, Mermaid Junkies, how are you? I know, I'm weird. I'm just excited about everything in life. How are you? Are you doing well? Okay, I'm trying to give you guys videos 5 days this week, and let's see what happens. Would that excite you? Would you like that? Okay, so what I would love to talk about today is everything is always working out for us. Even when we think things aren't working out for us, things are working out for us. Even when things aren't working out for us, they're really working out for us. I know I said that like 5 times, but that's okay. I'm trying to bring home a point. Okay, so if any of you guys know or you follow me on my blog, you know that it's RaquelCarter.com, R-A-Q-U-E-L Carter.com. And if you have read anything, if you've read any of my posts, you know that there was a post, and I've spoken about this on a couple of videos, about the fact that when Jeffrey and I got married and we were dating, well, when we got married, yeah, my dad gave us he had this beautiful white truck. It was an older truck, but it looked brand new and it was really nice. And anyway, so we didn't have to pay payments on it or insurance or anything like that, right? We never got the title to it. So long story short, my dad asked for the truck back. It caused a whole rift in our family because I was just unaccepting of the fact that I felt really, really disrespected, and I felt like this was like the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak, in my family dynamics, right? Because this had been a long-standing kind of situation that had occurred so many times that I just felt really, really disrespected and really treated unfairly. And so it was like a culmination of, you know, several different things. So I have, at this point, I've basically estranged myself from my family. And I don't know if that's gonna ever change or anything like that. I'm just going with each day, and I'm loving myself, and I'm, you know, working through these things and trying to understand things more clearly. And so I don't know what's gonna happen. But for right now, today, I'm happy. I feel determined, and I feel confident in my decisions that I've made. As difficult as it was, I have to put myself first before I put other people's feelings before my own. And so because I would feel very, very upset and disregarded and completely unloved by, you know, and it stems from a lot of unresolved issues, I believe, from my father and I in our relationship as father and daughter, you know. I've really never really had a strong relationship with my father, and so that probably doesn't contribute to it very well. I know that my dad loves me. I'm sure that he loves me. I love him. It's just that there was never any really solidarity in our relationship, which has not ever been really difficult for me, but it's been some maneuvering because I've had to relearn how to adjust to men and my relationships with men, because the first example that you ever have as a child, we all know this, especially if you've studied psychology, is that your first relationship that you ever have or develop is with your father, a daughter with her father. And if you don't have that, all of the different things and elements and dynamics that come into play with that really have a huge impact on your life in general as an adult, right? And even as a young girl, those formative years. But anyway, okay, so my whole point is when things aren't working out, they're really working out. Even when things aren't working out, they're always working out. So you need to remember to tell yourself that all the time, okay? And so I wanted to demonstrate that by giving an example about what actually manifested with the particular, you know, the truck and everything. So, okay, so I was off of YouTube for probably 2 weeks or whatever. I was sick during that one time, and then there was the Hurricane Irma, and then I was really struggling with this whole thing of feeling completely and utterly angry beyond recognition. You know, I mean, I didn't walk around with, you know, huffing and puffing and everything, and but I was very discontent. Like, I didn't even want to paint, and I did not paint work on my book because I did not want that to affect my art. And if you're a creative person, which everybody is, you recognize that within yourself, I'm sure. Like, you really find it hard to do, you know, those creative things or whatever when you're not feeling your internal self, right? So I wrestled with the idea of, like, should I sue my dad, or should I take him to court? Should I really try to keep the truck or whatever? And so I really, you know, kind of went in within myself to try and figure out how to remedy this dilemma. And so I wrestled with it, but I finally decided that my path of least resistance was to just let him have the truck back, but that I would just dissolve every kind of relationship that I had with my family at this time, just because I cannot have this negativity in my life. And it seemed like every time I would go to my parents' house, there would be tension, or I would hear about a relative or an aunt or somebody in my family saying something about me. Like, if I was saying something on my YouTube channel, they didn't like it, or they had an issue, or they thought this or whatever. And it's like, you know what? I just needed to rid myself of that, because I don't have room in my life for that negativity. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it just breeds. And then when you get down there, as much as I'm a strong person and I have a strong sense of self-love and all, when you're in that kind of realm and those thought patterns and stuff, it really has a way of, like, sucking the life out of you, in a sense. You know what I mean? Because I guess maybe I'm just not secure enough within myself yet. You know what I'm saying? Because if I was secure enough, there would be no way that anybody could compel me. I would repel that stuff, and I would never even see it. It's kind of like walking into a room when somebody's gossiping. If you're not on that vibrational frequency of that same gossipy person, you're not even going to recognize what they're doing. Even though they just completely slammed you right before you walked in the door, you would not be receptive and pick up on that energy. So I guess maybe what I'm saying is, this is all working out for me because I've recognized that I'm still not as strong as I thought I was, right? To go into that kind of lion's den, so to speak. And the other thing is that now that my dad took the truck, it's been a very awakening sense for me, because you know how you guys have always talked to you about how the fact that I've struggled with, like, always wanting men to rescue me, or people in general to rescue me. And that goes, like, financially. Like, you'll find a common thread within your life if you realize you're a person that wants to be rescued, right? Or you are a rescuer. If you're a fix-it kind of person, you'll recognize that that little thing will trickle into each aspect of your life until you create new beliefs for that particular belief that you already have, right? So you have to implement new beliefs. So what I recognized, I was sitting there and I had meditated, and then after I come out of meditation, and I went to go get some, went to the vitamin store, and I had meditated, you know, prior to getting in the car and whatever, and didn't think anything else about it, right? And so I get to this stoplight, and all of a sudden the floodgates of spirit just came upon me. And it was like, the reason that this is working out for you, that your father took the truck back, even though it seemed like it was a negative thing, it was really a great teaching experience for me, because I was able to see that once again, in order to have things, I was relying on someone else to provide those things for me. So I was expecting someone else to come in and rescue me, you know? And that was the way with the truck. And so I realized that day that I don't need anyone to rescue me. Like, Source is going to always rescue me. Source is always going to make up for those things. Like, Source is going to find me the publisher. I mean, he found me the publisher. Source is going to find the funds that I need to go on my little book signing campaign. Source is going to make everything work out that for my house in Carmel. Source is going to figure out a way that we get a brand new truck, right? That's not my job. What our job is in life is, if we have desires, and ultimately something that I want, which I do want. I wanted a truck, and Jeffrey wants a truck, right? But the way that it worked out to get a brand new truck would have never occurred had I have kept the truck from my dad, nor would I have recognized that rescuing component in my life to begin with, because it's just another bit of fine tuning. Okay, my camera's going dead, freakazoid. But anyway, so just remember that even though things are not seeming like right in the midst of things, even when it's like, oh my gosh, this is not working out for me, it actually is working out for you. It's always working out for you. Even when it seems like it's not working out for you, if you can have that mentality of looking at everything in your life as a mechanism and a teaching tool, an experience that you need to learn to help you to expand, to help you find clarity in your life, and to recognize where you need to fill the gap within yourself. You know, there's so many gaps in our lives, but we're still so perfect. Even though we have all these gaps, just remember, you're still perfect. Even every moment that you're in life, every decision that you make is perfection. There is no mistake for you. You never make mistakes. Just remember that. So if you can be kind to yourself, be gentle with yourself, and remember that everything is always working out for you, even when it seems like it's not working out for you. So if you would subscribe and give a mermaid or fins, that would be wonderful. And I hope this served you. And as always, I'm yours until my next swim. Ciao.